Numen for Use is a collective of 3 independent designers, but working now together for almost 15 years. We started as industrial designers, and we wanted actually to non-sign our products, or to fool a little bit with the star system, which was rather inherent for design field, and then we wanted to sign all our products for use. But then when we started working outside of the field of product design, then this for use was a little bit non-adequate, and then we were discussing and searching for a good name, and then at a certain point we were impressed about the knowledge of this phenomenal and noumenal world. So noumenal worlds is the worlds where just pure mind is, let's say, non-physical explanations are in noumenal world. And then we took the name Numen, but it is with all names that you get or give, at a certain point you are starting wondering about it. So we kept also for use, so now we are Numen for use.
We all studied industrial design, fell for furniture design. I mean, this was kind of love for us, and then we invested a lot of time and also had a lot of good producers published or produced our products. And then later we jumped into, by accident, into set design, which is more experimental and more free. You can really work with space much easier than, for example, in interior design, what we also did or do. And yeah, later we recognized every now and then, when we have a nice concept for a set design, that it would be interesting to explore this idea furthermore. And then this Numen light, what we have in the other room, what we show in the other room is one thing what we took from a set design and just played with it. And so by that we transformed also into this more experimental applied art field. And nowadays we do actually everything all together.
We don't really recognize the big difference in between design and art fields, and these borders are merging more and more, because the designers are more and more working into some experimental fields, and artists are exploring also their social impacts, usability, and other concepts. So for us, it's also, this border is somehow artificial, and we try to jump over it, forth and back.
We are working with nets which you normally use on building sites. We put them in several layers and interconnect with some points, and so you get a kind of architectural landscape where people can go inside and walk around, crawl around, hang around. Well, you really come into the room, and then slowly you go level by level up, and then at the end you're up there on 6 meters, and hang out there. And the basic concept about this to go later into public space and to put it, for example, in a backyard, in a courtyard where you have a lot of houses where people are living, and then you put, for each floor you put one layer, then you also make this architectural landscape, and then everybody can come out and open their window and jump into this installation, can go up to the last floor, lay there like in a hammock, taking a sun bath or getting to know in a really, because imagine you jump out of the window into this, and all of a sudden your neighbors, what you never saw from the other house, are also there. Both are somehow excited. They have some fun in crawling around there, and then this getting together. This is somehow interesting to show how they can get to know each other in a very nice and soft and easy way.
This project which we do now is an extension of tape installations that we made in the last year. So it's a development of this concept of walk-in installations, but it's not just that you walk in. It's the question where you have to get a certain suspension of disbelief, in this project, because people like this point where they have to get rid of their stability. I mean, and they're intimidated at the same time, but they also have some thrill about it, and this makes them living, and this also makes them break their you know, social structures. There are not so many, and the borders are again rather broken, because you know, you have to take off the shoes to come in, and then people of all social levels, of all ages are inside, but they all act like children. They find the game and then start playing, and this is what makes us running actually.
And this forms what emerged out of real chaos, because first you just put some lines like this, and then you just go around and this all get his mathematically or geometrically perfect forms. And this is for architects also interesting, because when they make something in modern architecture, they really go in computer and then cuts, and then you know, everything has to be cutted and knitted or whatever.
This is one other aspect of our work, which is really for us interesting, is that this gap in between analog and digital worlds, and we are somehow in this gap, and all of these projects, tape and Numen Light and the net now, is there on the border. Somehow it looks super digital. So you said it's a rendering. No, it's actually these works are much easier to make in an analog way, and obviously the resolution is much better, and profoundness. And so it is funny that you get a digital image when you look at it on the pictures, but then you recognize that it's super analog or even automatic. I mean, tape projects were beautiful for us because we were always employing. We had helpers in wherever we came. There were local people who came to help, and they knew nothing about the project, and there is actually no know-how there.
So this is the first time we really go in a huge space. Before we made some models, and then we made a small test in a cellar of I don't know, 30 square meters, and now it's really huge to see how this with the levels is working. And another thing, opposite to the tape project, is that this one we can reuse, because for us it was always a problem. This tape is nice, but you use up 50 to 80 kilos of plastic. And the funny thing is that two people, we showed it now 7-8 times all over the world, and two people came to me and said, but you know that you waste a lot of plastic. And the rest, not. Because for me it was always a little bit of problem, because why does nobody come to us and say, why?
Even though we are probably spending more you know, petrol by driving to Hasselt or back. So it's not actually our installation are not the real issue, but the real issue is that there is not until now a recyclable tape material, and it's produced and spent and dissolved in nature in millions, in tons, in megatons, you know, yearly. So this we would also like to raise with tape project. We would also like to raise a problem of biodegradable sticky tape or I don't know, somehow recyclable, because up to now this tape is not recyclable, and it's always connected to paper and to some other trash. So it is a real issue, and we actually like the people to ask this question, because then we say, okay, you know, which is the yearly production of a small country like Belgium? And nobody is thinking about it. But when they see 50 kilos that we are spending, then they come. So it is an issue, but we would really like to use our public appearance to also open this topic.
This project started with a set design, what we did for the National Theatre in Madrid. There we filled the whole stage with a mirror, real glass mirror cube, and put in the inner corners, we put light stripes, and the front side towards the audience was a spy mirror. This is the mirror when you can look inside, but from inside it's a mirror. So you have an endless light grid raster. And also the actors which are inside are reflecting in all directions, in all dimensions, endlessly. This was the play was Inferno from Dante, so it was a cold and infinite thing for the Inferno. And after this, we recognized that this idea has more to work on. And so we said, since we are also industrial designers, we take this and play with it like a light object. And this, especially this version, has 3 spy mirrors, and the other 3 mirrors are foil mirrors in which we pump air inside or take air out. So that's why you have this 3-dimensional deformation of this light grid.
And then this grid is this deforming grid or dissolving Cartesian system is the same topic which we are having in Z33 gallery. So the connection is in here because we have infinite space contained in a single mirror, but this infinite space is deforming, you know. And in the other room we have the net, which is in the real space, and it's also deforming, but we have also people inside. So there is a connection in between big and small, again in between black and white, and you know, all these topics that we are somehow exploring, because in between object and space, and we are just really interested how people will react in Hasselt.